I started looking at once a day milking because of the volume of milk we were producing. Um, Trying to push cows seasonally wasn't working really well. So I started looking at labor, my time. Had some kids, they were starting to say, hey, we never get to go anywhere or do anything. Um, had some activities we want to be involved in. Um, my dad was looking at retiring at that time. I didn't really want to add another full-time person to take that spot. So we started looking at once a day, and I was working with Larry Tranel. He put together a once a day milking versus twice a day or 3 times a day kind of costs and net gains, whether it was family time or equipment savings. I think that's available. And also, you know, it was hard trying to find help. So those are things that I was looking at when I went once a day. In our herd, the changes that were made, we calved heavily in the fall and heavily in the spring. We skipped months of January and July for calvings. And so at this winter, when I decided we were going to switch over, they say you don't want to switch a cow that's coming into her peak or has been fresh shortly. You want to look at those cows that have been in milk 120 days or longer. And I looked at what our fall calvers, and I thought, well, at February, those new cows calving we'll go to once a day on those, and then give those other cows a couple months to get into that 120 to 150 day range, and then we'll switch all the cows at that time. And that's what we ended up doing. We switched all our fresh cows starting in the 10th of February. Our new fresh cows started 10th of February. We've been calving once a day milking once a day on those fresh cows ever since. And then in April, before field work started, we switched the rest of the cows over to once a day milking, and we've been 100% milking once a day since then. This is September, so. You know, we expected to lose up to 25% of our milk. I was told initially. We ended up losing, I think it was like 18% of our milk volume, but our components went up. Components and other solids and fat, protein all went up. I think we were up to 4.9 on our fat and protein, our fat tests, and our protein test went from like a 3.2 to a 3.8. So our components are up dramatically, and I think I looked earlier this week here. We only lost like 50 pounds of solids, our fat, and 40 pounds of protein, I think, per cow.
On an annual basis?
On an annual basis.
Okay.
I really enjoy it. We're able to do a lot of things with the kids we hadn't been able to do. The cows seem to have adjusted well to it. I think now the hardest part is the actual changing to once a day. It's a lot of breaking the tradition. When you break tradition, you're pretty uncomfortable for a while. There's a lot of fight on should you go once a day or not once a day if you're working with a group of people. And but since we've changed, the cows are doing well. They're cycling well. They're breeding well. They're carrying more condition now than they were. They're not milking as hard as they were, but they are obviously in better condition than they have ever been going into fall at this time. I like that aspect of it. We're feeding 7 pounds of total grain for But that's corn silage grain, that's grain, and that's soybean grain. So they're not getting a lot of. We're not pushing them hard. They're converting our low value feeds into higher value products, and that's kind of what they're designed to do, especially in the times where you have high feed prices. I think a guy's really got to look at that and focus on what you can add value to instead of just trying to make the most amount of milk. We're a little bit on total revenue. We're a little bit less with everything at the end of the year, but you have to give some value to your family time. I'm spending a lot more time with our kids. We're doing a lot more things as a family. We can have just a high school kid come and do chores at night. We don't have to have a whole slew of well-trained employees to come. We don't have to worry about something. We can have a 12-year-old come and do all the chores at night. So there's a lot more flexibility there. They can come in, spend a couple hours here, and be done. I don't have to be here. I can stay at that family function another hour, 2 hours if I want. I don't have to miss those things. Financially, we're doing fine as far as things look right now. Well, I've been told that I guess I'm a lot different than I was just in a few months of doing once a day milking. I've been told I'm not as wound tight as I used to be. I'm more relaxed. That's coming from my parents, my wife. I'm sure the employees see that too. We're allowed to spend more time in the field. We don't have, when you're making hay, you don't have that, I got to get another crew here to milk cows plus make hay. We're a small farm, so 185 cows is one full-time employee, a couple part-time high school kids helping. So we don't have a big crew to draw on for that extra labor. So that's been more relaxing. You don't get so tense about trying to get everything done. No, I really don't have any regrets other than I do miss that a little bit bigger milk check. But I think it's going to fit our farm well. We're just through the first year. They say the first year is the poorest performing year because you're transitioning all these cows over. Some cows, are not going to like it. A lot of our cows, the issues are if you have a lot of cows that are natural leakers, they just leak. You might as well sell them. They're the ones that we're milking and their somatic cell goes up, and they're the ones we're selling. So everybody else seems to be doing well. We've had a couple cases of mastitis. We haven't had an excessive amount. We're not anything out of the normal as far as those go. I'd actually say we're kind of less. I think the cows are healthier. We're not moving them around as much. They're doing their own thing more of the day, and I think it's going to fit here. As far as genetics, we use a mating program called animal analysis, and that helps balance your cows out. You can pretty much eliminate all your issues with that using the current genetics available on the market. Getting rid of those sag bag cows or your calving problems. The only time we pull a calf is if it's in the wrong position. We really don't have, and that has to do with how they mate the cows and create a balanced cow, creating the proper hip structure to allow that calf to come through. A lot of the market right now is squeezing those pelvic area down this way, and it needs to be like this to allow those calves to come through. We've even started using some of our own herd bulls because we graze so much. We've had some cows that do really well on our pasture, and we've realized that if they excel so much here, there should be a value to them in our own herd if we continue to add more. I mean, we'd obviously keep more of those daughters out of that cow. Why not keep a son and add more of that genetics to our pool that works so well? So we decided to go organic after we were doing some financial analysis using the dairy trans. We were looking at what the future looked like here on the farm, doing some projections, and then realizing that if I really wanted to purchase the farm in the short term and not going to be working for my dad my entire life, I'd have to switch to a different kind of higher revenue niche market. So we chose to, using that analysis, we chose to go organic at that time. Grazing is really, it fits the cows. It really calms the cows down. Our cows, you never find a cleaner cow if they're grazing, especially heifers. They're a pleasure to be around. The cows are under less stress out in the pasture. They come in, they're more relaxed. But it's also tougher on them because the cows will eliminate themselves if they have bad feed. So you will walk into a pasture program and you will not find a cow with a bad foot because structurally they're eliminated because they have to do more than go from the couch to the refrigerator to get their feed. And I really enjoy that because you get rid of cows that should be gone anyway.